Hey everyone, welcome back to Read the Room podcast.
Oh my god, it's your girl Merv.
Your girl Merv.
It's Embria. Hi everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We back.
Y'all. I hope y'all missed us and all our content.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
We've been busy living our regular lives.
We've been having
fun in life.
No, we've had so much fun. But our little vacation from the podcast is over. Now we're back. And we're really excited to jump into today's episodes because it's celebrating our 1-year anniversary doing the podcast.
Dun, dun, dun. We're old now, huh?
Super old.
Old in yet another form.
We have a lot of episodes under our belt.
Sick.
Well, not a whole lot, but
enough. Yeah.
So we just wanted to make a video just celebrating 1 year and just looking back on where we started and like where we're at, where we're going, all that good stuff. 1 year is it's a great milestone. So
it is. Shout out to
celebrate it.
Yeah, shout out to the OG roommates who listened to us when we were in my parents' house with that terrible sound.
Oh my god! You know what? I miss Baby T's cafeteria.
Oh my god.
Her
Baby
mom.
T is my mom. She can cook.
Fast. Oh my god.
She can cook.
I miss it.
She used to be snapping like.
She did snap.
So
them egg rolls.
Oh my god. So she taught me how to make them. I have some in my freezer right now waiting for me to
make.
Oh, I already like made them. I just have to fry them.
Gotcha.
They taste like
superb. Yeah, no, it was great being at Baby T's, but
now we're at Baby Breeze drinking water.
All we do is drink water and wine.
Water, wine, and go
prepackaged
eat
food.
Okay, don't be boosting on me on the podcast.
We love it here.
Anyways,
sounds great. The scenery is great.
Please,
but let's just jump into this episode. That's a lot of bantering. But going back to when we first started, did you think we'd make it this far?
I mean, yes.
Yeah,
I think of the podcast like I think of anything else in my life. Like if I'm doing it, then I know that it could be something.
Yeah.
Because who commits to something if you're like, oh no, like I'm too busy a person to be committed to something that I don't foresee like at least us sticking with. Even if it's just us listening to us like and enjoying ourselves, like I could at least see that much.
Yeah.
And you say you think the same? You thought the same?
I thought of it. At first, I was like, okay, this is just like a fun idea. And then we started doing it. Like, the topic started being good. I'm like, oh my God. People started following us. I'm like, wait. People started reposting. So I'm like, we are on to something.
That's a good point.
So that's kind of when I was like, okay, we could definitely, like, take this somewhere. Like, we can continue this because it's good content.
That's a good point you make. Like, you can never project whether people are going to actually listen to you. Like, your friends will repost whatever you do and, like, never listen to it for a second. But then you look at our analytics and it's like, people are listening
to us. And it's so wild to think of. Mm-hmm. And I love, like, the comments, the little comments, like, from people that we know, people we don't know.
Texting, like y'all really whatever on that episode.
I like this episode. It's like, y'all are doing great. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One thing I did not anticipate was a lot going into the production of a podcast. I really just imagined us sitting down,
like
pushing record, and boom.
The whole, I'm sure on the sound side, you go through it. On the video side, I be editing this video it takes literally probably like 2 hours per video to edit. Yeah. And 6 of y'all watch the video on YouTube. I'm sick of it. It's been 1 year. We're done. We're done ignoring the YouTube. I had posted on Instagram TV, and I don't know. I think that did a little bit better. Yeah. That's
better than the YouTube.
This is y'all's job for this year. If you don't go and watch this YouTube video, I swear I'm jumping through the podcast.
Yeah, no, it takes me about the same amount of time to do the audio, but at least if you know people listen to it.
Yeah, you're doing some meaningful work. Mine is like, not till I die. Then people are going to start, look at her on you. No, don't give me my flowers now. Give my flowers now.
No, that's so funny. You know what I always think of when we first started is when we was in that space.
Oh, okay.
Bro, we were trying to create the cutest ambiance
It was adorable for a photo shoot, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, we recorded. Was it like 5 episodes?
It was like 3 to 5.
We recorded several episodes in this event space that was beautiful, like greenery on the wall, like picture frames, beautiful. And then we listened to it, and it was
the worst echo ever. If you go back and listen to our first episode, that was like the best of the worst.
Yeah, it's like, welcome to Read the Room.
Honestly, to no fault of our own, we didn't understand how sound works. And how we thought the microphone would just pick up us. We didn't think it was going to pick up the entire room. Yeah, and it was a big space.
Truthfully, if we had this mic,
probably not.
It probably would have worked. Yeah. So this is us pubbing.
We're like in an open space right now.
Yeah, and my air is on, and my clothes are washing.
And it still comes out pretty good. So, yeah, it probably was the mic, but
you live and you learn. We wouldn't have known. And those microphones with that, plug it in and twist this and turn to the side.
Make sure you have the thing on it. It was a lot.
Every time we recorded, it was a full day thing. Like, my mom would have us food. We eat. Try to record, like, it was just
we used to have 10-hour days
literally
to record maybe one episode,
and we'll finally get to the point where the sound is good, and then somebody will start mowing their grass. Somebody would come down the street with a motorcycle. Like, it was just,
and it used to be so hot.
It was
in that room.
It was burning up because we had to turn the air conditioner off because you would hear it if we had it on. So we making the whole house hot.
Oh my God. No, we go through a lot to produce this podcast.
Literally. My parents had to be outside of their own house for 10 hours on Saturday. My dad's waking me up like, so I'm trying to mow the grass. Like, what time are y'all starting the podcast? It was
a lot. And then you had to come pick me up.
That was come pick you up, bring you to my parents' house, record for 10 hours, take you back, bring me back. I was punching the air.
No, this was a job.
Like,
this is how they be treating them people that work at Amazon, for real. For real, I feel y'all. Because them days.
At least we had a bathroom. We wasn't going to the bathroom in a water bottle or something.
It was a lot. But we got to a point where we finally figured things out. It's smooth.
This is great. This is y'all don't know.
And I feel like it says a lot that we kept through it. Like, after last year I had surgery, so we were gone for like 2 months, and then like things just come up and we just like keep going. Yeah. So I think that's a testament to like,
we'll just stop and then be like, we stopped for a while and then we saw each other this weekend, like, we should probably record this weekend.
We did try to record. What happened?
You were going on vacation, and then I had been on vacation before that. It was just,
the worst thing was when I was in Dubai, and I was going to edit those videos, those audios, and then the shit was not there. I was sitting on the balcony, nice air, just like ready to, and then it just stopped. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Did I download the wrong one?
Now that's sick. How many times did we record those? Like
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Ooh, that's sick. Needless to say, we went through the utmost and a half in order to get to this 1 year mark. Mm-hmm. So we are grateful for ourselves for doing it, but also the roommates do not. They don't play about us. We could be gone for like 2 months and then come back and they're like, we're listening right now. Yeah. So, and like you mentioned earlier, like, it's evident in like in our analytics that like, our content is good. Yeah. So over this last year, y'all really showed out. We've had over 3,000 streams. That's crazy. And over 2,000 listeners across like over 14 countries. Obviously, the U.S. being our number 1 country. But England is next, right? No, Canada. Oh, okay. That makes sense. We're North America. It goes United States, Canada, then Austria. Austria? Yeah, that's so random. Hello, Austrian. Don't be doing the Austrian roommates. No, I'm not. No, Austrian roommates. Like, we were on the show too. But I was like, I would have never thought Austria. I would have never expected us to leave the U.S. I would have never expected us to leave Illinois. Chicago. So the fact that we even reached
something like, for other people, like probably people who've been in the podcast for a little bit longer than we have, 3,000 is nothing.
Yeah, but for us, and we only have like what? How many episodes?
Like 26, like something really, really low.
So 3,000 streams,
and that's including all the times we had to like stop for a little bit and pick back up. So it's like we have that consistent support from y'all, and it's just like we can't thank y'all enough. Yeah.
Hopefully you're watching the video right now, so you see how we're reacting.
Watch the videos, but continue to listen to the audio. But yeah, no, it's been amazing, and to even see those numbers, it makes me really, really, really happy.
Yes,
we're doing something right.
Oh my god, this is exciting.
And then even and on top of that, we have and this doesn't include Spotify, right?
It does not.
It doesn't include Spotify.
Okay, now and Spotify is that girl.
This is just straight up Apple Podcasts and Google Podcast numbers.
Okay, so they're way more.
So it's way more.
Oh, I remember. So we look at our own. Yeah,
look at our own Spotify.
I should go and look at.
Yeah, we gotta look into our own Spotify. You dig? But the main platform on this one is Apple Podcasts, and y'all are showing it out every single time.
That's crazy.
And we rock with y'all for that. On top of that, y'all really do tune into our live watch
when we
parties.
Have our watch parties, that's so cute. Yeah, y'all be there.
And then y'all be coming with comments. And then the last one, your Aunt Vicky really just kind of like
she was like
took it and ran. Everybody was like, okay,
we're done here. Nothing else needs to be said. Okay, so I have on Spotify. This was from December. We had 461 streams.
Do they have an all-time on there? Or you probably have to do it manually?
I think that's all time.
From December? You said it's from December.
Not from December to now, until December. Oh, okay. So that was last May through last December. 461.
So we're about 3,400 streams.
Ish, yeah.
So it seems like Apple Podcasts is like
the main
main one that people listen on.
But we still have 14 countries. The UK was second on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
So Ireland was next, bro. What? Hello, Irish roommates.
I'm just going to learn how to clog just for y'all.
Just for y'all. You're going to have to watch the video to see her do
clogging. I'm going to see what our rating is on Apple as well.
Oh, yeah. 5
stars, as suspected. But speaking of like ratings and stuff, my favorite comment was the comment that the person left after listening to our friend's episode, our first comment that we got on Apple Podcasts.
And it was what?
It was, I found these ladies on Instagram. I had been looking for some new podcasts to listen to, and I love this one. I enjoyed the friendship topic. That's the podcast episode that really put me in to listen to these ladies. Type C friends really are important. Please keep making more podcasts, and I'll keep listening.
That's just the sweetest thing.
Katira G. It was so sweet of you to do that.
Yeah. And that just goes to show you never know how much something that you say to someone can affect them. So, like, if you rock with what somebody is doing, or if you agree, or if it helps you, just tell them. Like, don't just keep it inside. Let them know, because they might need just that. Like, we could have been like, damn, we trash. Like, nobody not listening to us. But here she go, being like, y'all are not trash. Mm-hmm. This is good content. So,
yeah. I think we just do a really good job overall of just, like, picking topics and then building them out.
I think
we're talking about us in our 1 year. I think we do a good job in that, because people can really relate.
Yeah. Okay, but I think that's the essence of the podcast. The whole reason that we chose to do it, Read the Room, is like, the concept is like, did y'all see that?
Right.
Did you hear that? Like, what did you think about that? Because here's what we thought about it. Or are y'all experiencing that? Because we are too, and here's what we think about it. So I think that, the crux of our podcast is being relatable.
Yeah, just
reading the room,
society and culture
and life.
That's us. That's our podcast. That's Read the Room, just society and culture.
That's us.
On the topic of episodes, I think it'd be cute just to kind of do a deep dive, not too deep, surface dive into a few episodes from our
analytics
and from our year and our analytics, whatever. What's your boat? I'll just start. I actually want to start with what was your favorite episode?
I don't know. I need to think about it. Can we go over it? Can we start with what they like? Episode. Oh no. Okay, you can do yours. I have to think.
Okay,
I think I have a few.
We'll do that after.
Okay.
But y'all's favorite episode was We're All in This Together.
That is so interesting. There are certainly people who have come to this country in different ways, and they are not Latino. But that's not the point where that affects Black people too, because we understand the community that they're targeting. It would not make sense for me, a Black American woman, to try and insert myself into those things. So I just suggest that other people of color use that same discernment. If this doesn't affect me,
we lay low.
Listen, or help in other ways. But
I think Black people have been really good about that, per se, in regards to recognizing other people's struggles and not inserting themselves. We're more supportive than anything. I remember there was this one particular incident where, unfortunately, a young white boy was targeted by the police, and he was killed for no apparent reason. And I only knew about that story because a lot of the people from the Black community are raising that
awareness.
Exactly. So it's kind of like when we're talking about police brutalities, you guys want to Blue Lives Matter, but when your own people are dying, y'all don't even care. So it's clear that the concern isn't about safety; it's just about shitting on Black people.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't listened and is about to go listen to it as soon as we get off right now, We're All in This Together. We talked about the concept of like allyship. Yes. Because it was right after George Floyd was murdered, and now we can say, and Breonna Taylor, the whole thing was happening, and it was like people were acting like it was the end of the world, like some crazy times, like doing some weird stuff. Okay, so companies are saying, what can we do for diversity? And then people who consider themselves allies to the Black community were all in a uproar. Like, what are we supposed to do to show that we
BLM and
support? Like doing a Black square and all these things. And so we talked about what it means to be an ally and what it looks like being performative, what it looks like actually helping. That was a very good episode. And you know what? As someone who I work with, and don't get me wrong, I live a double life. I aspire to no one at my job knowing that I do a podcast. Okay? My job is. But she's cool. Like, somebody who I actually talked to, she told me that her and her fiance listened to it. She was like, we loved it. And she's a person of color, but she's not Black. So I'm like, and so is her fiance. I'm like, wow, we're touching not just like people who are in our community and in our circle that we, our circle proper that we acknowledge, but even beyond. So
and that graphic that you made for Instagram, follow us on Instagram, by the way, I Read the Room Pod, really just took off.
What was that one? I remember.
How to be
okay. Yes, that was just like, and it was just us thinking like, okay, here's the stuff I like when people do, and here's the stuff I don't like when people do. It just
took off. To us, it's common sense.
Yeah, but
because of the life that we live, our race. Everything like that is common sense for us, but to others it's not so common, because when you live in a life of privilege, you don't really think of like what's going on outside of that.
You never have to. I feel like 2020 was, for a lot of people, the first time in a long time they had to consider their privilege, the race of other people, because for such a long time we're like, oh yeah, no, we're in such a progressive society, woo-woo this, and it's like we've all still been living in hell, and y'all have been, doing better, and it's just so separate, and now we all have to face this type of thing. Then one thing that was interesting to me also around that time was people's sentiment around looting. And
oh my goodness.
I forgot about that.
China and the Gucci store.
It was just a lot
It was a lot going on. Last summer in 2020 really just shifted.
Yeah.
It was COVID. We had police brutality, but it was just like everything just took off. Last year was just like a year.
It was.
There was something seismic happened last year, and it just made everything like
and then it's on top of a pandemic. Like, not just, a race war. Right. It was a lot going on. So
locked in the house, people still getting killed, people still being raised. It was
a lot. If you made it through 2020, like, pat yourself on the back.
For real.
Rest in peace to anyone who did not, because a lot of people didn't. So, what a year.
Right.
What was our next?
So the second most streamed episode was Advice, the Good, the Bad, and the Send-Offs, which just happened to be my favorite episode.
That's
when we were at your parents' house.
top. That's if that's not my number one fave, it has to be in my top.
Yeah,
that was such a good episode.
It was, and shout out to y'all because it was a collaborative effort because y'all sent us like some advice that y'all received, and then we just kind of broke it down. Added our own thoughts to it, but I really, really like this episode a lot. I thought it was super funny too. And I think my favorite part of this episode was the part. What were we talking about? We were talking about something like romantic related, where I think this was a part where we were talking about how like when people are like insecure.
Okay,
I forgot what exactly like the line of thought was, but it was just like, you do X, Y, and Z, it's really just because you're insecure. It's no other really reason surrounding that part of like the whole advice thing. But this was like a really, really good episode, and I really like this one a lot.
I have no clue what part of the episode you're talking about.
I have it in my mind. This is before the Let Me Hold You.
But if we're trying to live more quality, intentional lives, we gotta talk that talk and walk that walk.
My mom always says that when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And if you're like an empathetic person like me, it's like, oh no, they grew.
No, you're not empathetic. You're not empathetic. You're insecure. Yeah.
I don't think.
Yes, you are. You're not empathetic. You're insecure.
If you're giving someone a chance.
Yes.
Someone who
did you bad. Someone who girl. We are not God. Okay. I feel like God is only, or Jesus has only, are the only people who can do that. The rest of us, we deal with other humans with the same amount of free will. You're not empathetic. You are insecure. You can be empathetic towards kids, towards friends, and maybe even family, but not in romantic relationships.
Okay, to everyone else out there like me who felt like, oh my gosh, I'm just so forgiving.
I'm such an empath. You have a low self-esteem. Were we not ready for honesty tonight?
I remember a piece of advice that we debunked was the part about like just hold somebody down no matter what, like find you a good person or whatever. We're talking about how the older generation will send you off a cliff and have you putting up with whatever and a half. But yeah, I really love that episode. We should have maybe we could revisit advice like part 2 because people still be out here sending people off.
Yeah, no, we should, because just off that conversation we had in Nicole's house.
Just
build off on that.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
The one about like marriage and family and all that good stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. People will send you off if you let them. So I feel like the moral of the story from that episode is trust yourself.
Yep.
Because your gut is going to tell you. And don't get me wrong, sometimes people go and ask for advice to be conversational. Like, what would you do? Would you not take something that someone who's living a life that you would not aspire to is doing and apply it to yourself?
Or someone that has consistently sent you off.
Some people be using you like a guinea pig, bro. Like, what would you do?
I wouldn't do that.
I would. You should definitely. They're like, girl, I told her that she should. Like, but people are sick. So don't.
Yeah, that's why when I give advice, I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but this is what I would suggest.
Yes. And if I were you, and even that, if I were you, they're never going to be you. So even
but based off what I know about you in this situation, this is what I would do.
Yes.
That's how you do that.
Yeah, boom.
And then after that, what's your love language?
Oh, that was such a sweet episode. I think that's so important. If you have, I was going to say a significant other, but no, that or a friend or a family member or whatever, that's a good, like, have wine. Of course, I'm going to say wine.
Yeah. Remember, no, because there was a couple that listened to this
one. Oh, yes. Darian and his girlfriend. He was like, I listened to this with my chick. And we would pause incrementally to see if we're on the same page. Yes. That's so smart because you need to know what the love language is of the people who you think you love.
I feel like we miss out on this so much, or we just focus this only on the romantic aspect that we won't apply it to other parts of our lives. Like, I want to know what my friend, how they like to feel loved and how they like to feel good. Hell, my family, because like honestly, with family, it's just like we here because we have to be here. So like, let me get to know you
at
for
least
real now.
At least let me know you.
Let me get to know you a little bit, you know, because we don't really put in the effort because family is family.
Yeah,
my needs weren't being met as a child.
Yeah.
Even though she was my parent, she gave me the basics, like I had food, water, whatever, you know, going to school and all that stuff. But like emotionally, I think there could have been a better job done in that department. So because of that ambivalent or anxious upbringing, I had to be secure. Like I had to put up this like front that I'm super confident and, you know, I know exactly what's going on. So I think that's how this test came out that way for me.
Yes, that's interesting. I think you bring up a good point about parents and giving what their child needs.
Yeah.
I think that there is this traditional understood, like, okay, if you send your child to school and they have decent clothes and their hair is done X, Y, and Z, then you are a good parent. And it's like, in the same way that we have romantic love languages, kids have a way that they show love and want to receive love as well. Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like you could apply that to even birthdays and Christmas if you celebrate. Like, knowing somebody's love language is so important. Like, my number one is quality time. Yeah. So for my birthday, I would rather you take me to eat and we talk than you necessarily buy me something that I might not even like. But that's, if you know my love language, then you know that about me. But you're never going to see eye to eye. And you can even have conversations with people and they'll be complaining about someone like, she did this, and in my mind it's like, that's not something wrong. She just doesn't know you well enough to know what you wanted. So go listen to that with somebody that you like.
And as you grow, you start thinking that way instead of being like, oh yeah, that person was wrong because you know, screw them and this, that. But it's like, no, let's like really take this back. Let's break it down. Now I'm becoming a lot more of a Switzerland. Before I was more like a Russia.
See, okay, but
I'm more of a Switzerland now. I was like, okay, you know what? And I'm starting to realize a lot of times where I'm wrong.
Okay.
Which is taking me a lot to get to this point.
Oh, now that's good.
Back in the day, I couldn't be wrong. There was nothing I was wrong about back in the day. But now...
That's good.
I'd be wrong sometimes.
That's good to acknowledge. Yeah. I feel like I've always been a Switzerland to the point where if you say something, I'm like, but... That's why me and my mom would get into it. Like, even if I agree with what she's saying, I would rather her understand why the other side has a point too. Yeah. So then we'd be arguing. Yeah. But yeah,
I feel like honestly that makes arguments avoidable. It's like, I understand you, you understand me. And what's the middle ground?
Yes. There's no argument
at that point because everybody gets a little bit of their needs met in a sense.
I feel like arguments come from like two different opinions and they are trying to impose their own on the other. Yeah. If you just acknowledge this is mine and that's yours and here's where they overlap and here's where they diverge, then there is no argument. It's just like, okay, two different humans with different opinions.
And that's okay. It's okay to not agree.
Yeah. I actually would rather not agree. In some instances, like, give me... Spice up my life.
No, I feel you. This might be my second favorite. My friends, real friends, better than your friends. We misquote that all the time. Okay, so in this episode, my friends, real friends, we went through like different types of friends. According to
Aristotle.
Shout out to Aristotle.
What if he didn't even say that? He's somewhere rolling in his grave like,
I didn't even say that.
Okay, but we talked about different kinds of friends. Yes. Basically, there's like your deep friends, like you have the same values. Y'all are it. There's a second level of like, what's that one? Situate, like here and there?
Let me pull it up so we don't be wrong again.
We keep on saying type A is like get an A+, but it's really... Type A is the worst. So it's thinking of it like a surface. Like, say this is the Earth's core. Type A is the one closest to the surface.
This is just how useful
this person is. Oh, you need them here and there.
I use you.
You're using them. Okay, that's surface level. Get a little bit deeper. It's type B.
Pleasure.
For pleasure. So those are your, like, go out with friends. Like, y'all don't know each other that well, but...
You bring me some type of joy or, like, some type of... Or even, like, some type of physical
They might be funny or, you know, some... And then type C, which is the deepest... Y'all share values.
We share. There's something here like that's deeper than an A and deeper than a B. Or hell, might even be a mix of all of that.
Yeah, but
in a positive sense.
Okay, boom. To our point about some friendships, maybe you outgrow them or they run their course. It's also okay for a friendship to change its shape. So maybe you have a friend who you went to high school with and you saw them every single day and you texted every single day. But then say they move out of town. Now it's going to change a little bit. Maybe you guys become see each other when you're in town type and text every once in a while type. Like, it's completely okay for the way that the friendship looks to change over time. And I actually think that's healthy. We always say type A, but with using it like the Earth's core, okay, now the deepest friend is type C. Go listen to that because
that was a really good episode too.
And it put things into
like that one too.
Yeah, that was very popular.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That put things into perspective for me just as a person having friends in the world. Yeah. Like, you can't expect type A friends to give you type C friend vibes. Like, it's not that deep with us.
Exactly.
So,
and you can even like how you operate as a person. If you know you like a giver and you like to make people feel good, you can't just be giving that to your type A, to your type B, because they don't really, that's not what they're here for. Yeah. They're like, and you're going to be like, damn.
Why aren't you doing that to me? Like, I'm giving you all
for no reason, because that's not the type of friend that they are for you.
Yes. I was going to say, like, if you consider yourself like a deep person or like a person with thick, thorough values, you probably shouldn't have a lot of type A and type B friends. No. Like, that's the type of person, like, small circle, like, you benefit from that because you give so much. And I feel like I'm just learning that as I just said it. Like, wow, that's a
lot of us have a lot more type A and B friends than we realize.
And that's when you have to go and complain to somebody about what they did do, what they didn't do, and how you give so much more. It's like, instead of putting it on them, you have to adjust your expectations of that person. Like, you expecting some deep, long-term, lifelong stuff with somebody who is for the season. Right. Or for a certain occasion.
And don't overplay your role.
Don't overplay your own.
Talk about that a lot in, like, a romantic sense, but, like, even friends, like, don't overplay your role. If y'all just met, you're not finna be doing type C shit. Unless it's really that type of connection where you just, like, hit it off and y'all both giving each other that.
But how can you really know that unless you get, like, slow down.
Right.
Let it get there. That was a very good episode.
Love that episode. Okay, this one, y'all kind of messy for this one. I didn't think any of the sweet teas would make it up here. But it takes two to tango. But I guess because we were talking
y'all messy.
Because we were talking about Jada in August. And then we talked about Tori and Megan in that one too.
Y'all are messy.
Ooh. We got some good content. Y'all talking about some damn sweet tea.
But it was, I don't know, everybody had thoughts at the time.
They did.
And everybody had some thoughts that might have been contrary to what the, general population was saying. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, August this, August that. We were like, but Jada, what were you doing?
You're making a vulnerable person feel like it was much more than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was like, giving strange. It was giving, if that was a man who did it, it'd be like, send him where R. Kelly at.
Weird. Weird ass nigga out of here.
Yeah.
Nobody being weird in it.
She was being weird. Nobody said she weird because look at her. She's her. We just like, Jada girl.
And crazy. Also because she's small, beautiful, and light skinned.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she just got a pass. But yeah, y'all are messy for that. Yeah, anyways,
super messy.
Is this our last one? Number 5?
This is number 1, 2, 3, 4. That was number 5. Our 6th most streamed is Boundaries. How many of us have them?
Great episode.
Love that episode.
When are we going to say that one wasn't my favorite one? That was wonderful.
No, that was a great. For a first episode, I thought we did a very, very good job.
We did.
And that's when we had our old format. We were still working on like how we wanted to format our episodes, but I think that was, it speaks for itself. Boundaries. Yeah. How many of us have them? Mm-hmm. And romantic settings and friendships and things like that. Like, how many of us have boundaries?
Boundaries goes well with the friends topic because if you have boundaries, then you're not treating a type A friend like a type C friend.
Exactly.
Because it shouldn't be like your boyfriend or even partner or whoever the person may be to be like, oh, you can't go this way because I don't want you to, because I'm insecure about how you're going to be acting in those situations. It should just be about, you know what, this is what I'm going to be doing. You know where I'm at, whatever. So there's no kind of discrepancies as far as that. But it shouldn't be like, I control where your movements go and you know, just because I don't know what you're going to be doing.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
but
it's a really like complicated.
I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of like a younger me who just wants to be, because it's coming from somewhere, and a bunch of people, it's their reality. So why? We can't really put, you know, we can't say for certain, but do you think that there's any situations where you would defer to your significant other or your person or whatever's judgment? Would you ever ask for permission to do any sort of thing?
No.
Nothing at
It's
all.
not permission. I would ask for advice.
Okay.
I would ask for a second opinion, but
Yes.
I'm not asking for permission because what?
That was a good one. Go listen to it.
Yeah. Oh, don't you know that you're toxic is our 7th one?
Oh, now that one.
Child.
If you're trying to decide if it's over for y'all, go listen to that, and you will end it.
You can't be half full trying to pull into people. That's how you get depleted.
That is a word.
And then that's how you turn
cannot.
into someone who bases their whole being of a relationship into someone that consistently pours. And people see that. And they take advantage of that.
We could talk about this for 20 hours. Right. Because legitimately, that is a thing. People know when you're a giver.
Yeah.
People know when you're a helper.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to, they know that.
Yeah.
So they're going to do exactly what they need to do to get you to keep on pouring into them.
Yep.
And they're not pouring into you. And it wasn't even...
Don't you know that you're toxic?
It wasn't even like destructive. It was just like, here are some red flags.
Red flag. That's what
Here's
we're
some
talking about.
signs. You're not alone in that experience. Someone else has had it too. And yeah, that's not healthy.
At all. And a lot of us, you know, we like red flags until we experience them. And then it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Some stuff is also doesn't come off like a red flag because we've been conditioned in society to think that it's what love looks like.
Oh my gosh. Since we were little.
Like if you think about it, like, okay, say for instance, two people spending a lot of time together. You watch the movies and you know that scene I'm talking about when the music come on and then they get to doing hella stuff together.
And it'd be like
they walking down the street. They're eating.
They're shopping. And they're like,
doing all this stuff together for a long time.
Yes.
So our definition of romance and of love is probably to be together all the time. Then you get older and you realize like that's actually unhealthy. Like when you try and do something with somebody else, they're like, you're not going to spend time with me. And you think that that's what you're supposed to be doing because that's what love looks like in the media. But that's toxic.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I feel like this is like kind of, but not really, but maybe. Okay, so recently I was having a conversation with, I think, my therapist. We were just talking about like friendship and romantics and all that good stuff. And I was telling her how, like, y'all know me and my friends, and we
My mom thought y'all went together.
That's what I was going to say. People think I'm a lesbian because of how much I love her.
We're at the skating party. They're like, is that Merv's girlfriend? I'm like, no.
Literally, I get that. This is not the first. This is like, that's like the third time now that I've gotten that. People think I'm a lesbian because of how much I love Sydney, but it's just like, I've been knowing her for 8 years. We've been through hella shit. We've experienced a lot of shit together. How could I not love someone like that?
Yes.
Who's been such a light in my life? But if I go out, I fall in love with a random nigga.
They're gonna be like,
it's nothing. But I gotta be a lesbian because I love my friend.
That's a good point.
I think that's toxic.
That's a really good point.
That's toxic as hell.
That's a good point.
Like, you can't even love on your girlfriends, but these niggas, these random niggas that ain't did shit for you.
It's
okay.
true.
That's okay to love them.
People be asking about ones that don't exist. Somebody be like, oh, who Merv go with? You asking about the figment of your imagination. But here's her friend right here, and it's like, I don't know about that. That's too much.
Be a low guy.
That's a good point.
Child, I'm a be gay then. And then that was our 8th. So our 9th and 10th is, which I thought was interesting, is that our 9th was I just want to be successful, and our 10th was I just want to be successful part 2.
Period. Success.
And it's crazy because that one just came out on May 14th, like a month ago.
And it's already in the top 10. It's already in the top 10. Y'all want to be successful, huh? I hear that about y'all.
No, but those were
bad.
those were were really two strong episodes, especially for people wanting to pursue careers in the corporate space.
Yeah, because no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, the money's steady, but it's like the politics is like, Lord. It's a lot.
Someone was asking me recently, like, my sentiment about my job. And of course, I'm just like everyone else, like, grateful to have money and grateful to have everything that I have. But then you have to think about it, like, we spend a lot of time working, bro.
40 hours a week.
40 hours a week. So shouldn't you love these people? And I'm not saying I don't love the people I work with, but, like, theoretically speaking, shouldn't these be your homies? Like, shouldn't you be able to text them, like, that's the goal, right?
Right.
And if it's not that, then is that the place for you? Like,
well, but then this is where conversations of boundaries come in.
Yeah.
I want to have a separate life. I don't want that life and my other life to be all in one. I need a break.
Bro, me either, but wouldn't it be so great if you had fulfilling work life and a separate, like you could have friends at work and y'all hang out, and then you separately, the same way that you have now, family, and then you have friends, and they don't diverge, but they can be fulfilling in their own right. So one doesn't have to be miserable while the other one is lit. Yeah. I would love. It's hard. I work from home, so my work life is me sitting right here. But in theory, if that were the case, that would be nice. Yeah.
It would be nice, but I don't see that for myself. Like you said, you work from home. I'm now flex until forever, so it's like, am I really going to be trying that hard to go into the office just to
key with people? That's another thing. If you already are fulfilled in your friends, you're not going to seek it out at work.
And we just talked about like having how your friend circles are structured. If I already have like a solid group of friends, then I'm trying to add more. It's just like it's
I feel like I have solid friends in my regular life, solid family, and then I have work friends, and they're separate, but like those are my email come through and call or text, Yeah. But I don't know. Depends on the person.
I wouldn't have minded it. But you know how I am.
But now we're at that point.
Yeah, we're past that point now.
All right.
Those are our top 10 listen to episodes for within this last year that we've been doing this podcast. It's crazy.
It's been a thrill.
It's crazy to see ourselves grow. I always get surprised that we keep coming up with topics because I be like, what the hell are we going to talk about next?
We just read the room. That's crazy. When we started, I was living in the Bay Area.
You were.
Like, came back for the pandemic. Didn't know what was going to... Like, it's been quite a year.
Yeah. And it's like the thing back then, we were like, how the hell are we going to do this once we have to go back? And
we're like okay, let's do it on Zoom. Like, and then it worked out.
It worked out perfectly. So maybe this is a divine plan. We were meant to do this. If it keeps working every time, like, we've been admitted through all types of issues with this podcast.
Just neither one of us can have a child. And that's not on the horizon.
These hips ain't spreading anytime soon. No, ma'am.
Not no more than they
no, right.
Bread. No.
Only thing that's gonna make a spread is some bread.
Anyways,
carbs to make it a little wide, but it's been such an amazing year. We look forward to this next year with you all.
You know what would be great?
What
if people could respond, like go comment on our story. I'll put up like a little what do you think after this episode, and tell us what you want to see. Like, is there anything new? Everybody always asks, when are you gonna bring me on as a guest? And
what you gonna talk about?
And you don't listen to the podcast if you think we have guests. We don't have guests. We haven't had guests.
That part.
So maybe
we haven't had any guests, but I think that'll be a cool thing to do
to start to test out. Yeah, we could test it with somebody. Ooh, who's gonna be the special guest?
All people can bring me on your brother gonna be like
every time. So when y'all gonna bring me on? You haven't listened to a moment.
Talk about
nothing. You're gonna be like, so ladies, like,
right.
Bro,
they can't see you, bro. You can't thirst trap on the audio.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you have any predictions for year 2 for us?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I sense money. No, another form of income. No, I feel you. I think that just this and more. I feel like a team of some sort with, and then someone who knows how to navigate the podcast world, because we have great content. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of spreading it. Yeah. So if you know somebody, or if that person is you,
I would love to get some interns, but I don't want to exploit nobody's labor.
I don't even believe in unpaid internships. Exactly, so who would I be to ask for an unpaid intern?
Exactly.
So we'll revisit.
Have to sit on that team thing, but
we'll revisit that at another time. But
if you want to offer,
okay, I'm not.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I didn't want unpaid internship. Never again in my life will I ever do something. I did so much work, and I had to go all the way out west to. When I say out west, I mean by Rush Hospital. That was pretty west for me.
Right there.
Yeah.
Across the street.
At American Red Cross.
Anyways, what do you think? We only have a little seconds.
For me, for this year, for Read the Room podcast, I'm just going to manifest a smooth few months, consistency of us dropping great content and it just getting out there, and then hopefully having some people on board. I think that would be great.
Yes.
And
thanks for listening.
For us. Happy 1 year anniversary of Read the Room podcast. Y'all can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Read the Room Pod. Y'all can send us an email. Even saying happy 1 year at this point would satisfy me.
Anything.
At readtheroompod@gmail.com. We'll see y'all next episode.
See y'all on YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.